Hi there. Have you ever had one of those days when nothing seems to be terribly wrong, yet everything feels wrong? You woke up and although you didn't have any nightmare or you didn't have any terrible dream, and the weather feels fine, no bad news, but something seemed to feel off. You don't know what is it, and all of a sudden you notice that your breakfast does not taste quite right. Traffic seems to be worse than usual. People appear more irritating, and your motivation drops. To some people, this is very common. You wake up from bed and your motivation drops. You have zero motivation for anything, and you become very intolerant with people, and you seem not to have patience for anyone. That is the main thing. And when someone by chance asks you what's wrong, you simply say, I don't know. I'm just not feeling myself today. The reality is, yes, you don't know. And that is a truth. That is a reality. It does happen to all of us at a point in time of our lives. So if you are going through that, know that you are not alone. But the question I want you to ask you that feeling that you are having, is it an emotion or you are living in a mood? Welcome to the Streams of Emotions. My name is Moses and you can call me Mo for short. Here we learn, we listen, and lessen the load of emotions. And I'm really glad you are here with me again. So today, the question that we simply want to address is, are you feeling something or you are living in a mood? Many people use the words emotions and mood interchangeably, but there is a distinction between the two. Let me paint this picture. An emotion visits a specific spot in your mind for a brief while, but a mood is often all over and it stays for a longer while. You see, let me break this down. An emotion is usually intense. When you have an emotion, you can feel it, it's intense, but it's short lived and it's connected to a specific event. So you can trace the cause of the emotion. You can trace the cause of your happiness. You can trace the cause of your sadness. You can trace the cause of your joy. So it is usually connected to something. It is short lived and it is intense. That is emotions for you. So when you receive a compliment from someone, you feel happy. You are feeling happy because of the compliment you receive. So sometimes you are hurt because someone criticizes you. You realize, so this is an emotion in play. So the point is this, with emotions, you can point what triggered the feeling. But a mood is different. A mood tends to last longer and is often less intense and can be difficult to trace the specific cause of a mood. So that is the difference. It seems to be the opposite of an emotion or a feeling that you have because it lasts longer. And so you may spend the entire day feeling discouraged, feeling down, having less motivation, and you don't really know what caused that. Sometimes you can feel very positive about the day. Nothing has happened to you, nothing, no major changes has occurred in your life, but you just feel so much joy, so much positivity. Yes, this is how mood operates. So when it's on the negative side, you can't trace the cause, but it stays for a longer time. When it's on the positive side, you can't trace the cause either, but it also stays for a longer time. The reason why we need to give attention to our moods is that they are so powerful and they can influence how we interpret the world around us, how we even see things, and the conclusion we draw from situation that is happening around us. As psychologists refer to it as the mood congruent thinking. And this is what it says. Your current emotional state acts as a filter, and this is what the filter does. It will cause you to preferably or give preference to certain things. You notice certain things because of your current mood and you interpret things in line with your current mood, and you also recall information that matches with that specific mood. That is why when you are in a positive mood, opportunities seem to be more obvious, problems appear to be manageable, and people seem to be friendly. It is matching to your current mood. That is the mood congruent thinking. However, when you're in a negative mood, criticism feels harsher, challenges appear bigger, and disappointments stand out more to you. Why? Because the word to you has changed due to your emotional state. Okay, so that is what happens. Let me give you this practical scenario. For instance, when a friend doesn't reply your message, just as we mentioned in the previous episode, when you're in a good mood, that time you just take it very cool and you say that probably he's busy or he's just having a bad day. So you just leave it and ignore it. But when you are having a bad day or you're in a negative mood and your friend is not responding to your message, you are likely going to say that, oh, they are ignoring me. It's the same event. is identical. However, the response and interpretation is different. Why? It's due to our mood. So mood don't just color your feelings, they color your conclusion. A lot of things we have drawn the conclusion to it, not because that is how it is or that is how it was, but it's because that was our current state as at that time. And another reason why mood lingers for a longer time is what psychologists have referred to as rumination. Rumination is a very powerful concept because we repeatedly and passively dwell on negative thoughts, emotions, and their causes. When you do that, you are doing rumination. You repeatedly, you think about it over and over again. It may be something that happens, some negative things that happen, some negative feelings, the story, the situation. Sometimes it might not have happened, but you think about it over and over again. You overthink. And this is something that the researcher Susan Nolan Hoskima has elaborated on. She mentioned that the more you ruminate on situations, the more you ruminate on things that has occurred in your life, the more, especially the negative ones, the more you are going to prolong the sadness and deepen the negative mood. And it makes recovery very difficult. So sometimes, if something happened to you and it's unpleasant, and you end up replaying it over and over in your mind, you are doing yourself harm by causing it to just push you down and down and down, and it affects everything around you. Typically, let's look at other examples. Let's say you made a presentation and it didn't go on well. Within 5 minutes, that was what happened. You may feel bad about it, but if after 3 days, you still feel bad about those moments, you are still replaying those moments in your mind, then you are doing what? Rumination. Something that lasted for a few minutes has taken you about days and you are still dealing with this. That means you are ruminating on those things, and it's caused the mood to last longer and longer. Why? Because the mind keeps visiting it. Okay. So one thing that we need to notice about rumination is that when we find ourselves in this loop of rumination, we need to ask ourselves this question: am I solving the problem, or I am just replaying the problem? It is very important to ask yourself this question, because if you are simply replaying it, then know that you are not helping yourself at all. Instead, you are worsening the situation. That is why when you find yourself in that state, it's important to redirect your energy to something productive and break that endless cycle of analysis, break that endless cycle of rumination, and break that endless cycle of dwelling on the negative things. I want you to remember this, that you are not your mood. You are only experiencing a mood. I'll take it again. You are not your mood. You are only experiencing a mood. I want us to ask ourselves this question again. Are you feeling something, or are you living in a mood? Many people spend days, weeks, and even years being influenced by emotional states that they never stop to ruminate on. Yet, awareness is the first step that will help us bring this freedom. So, the next time that you are feeling off, pause and ask yourself these questions. You can ask one or all of them. What exactly am I feeling? When did this begin? Is there a specific trigger? Am I responding today, or am I carrying yesterday into today? Remember this: emotions are part of being human, moods are part of being human too. However, you should bear in mind that neither should be allowed to define who you are, because you are more than your mood and you are more than your emotions. Thank you for joining me on Streams on Emotions. Once again, a place where we learn, we listen, and lessen the load of emotions. Until next time, I want you to pay attention not only to what you feel, but also to what stays for a longer time. Thank you for joining me once again. Until next time, learn about your emotions, listen to them, and use them productively instead of allowing them to manipulate you. Have a wonderful time.